You're looking Knicks fans. Welcome to episode 34, Knicks fans. Wow, y'all already know the vibes. This is big episode because the Knicks are finally back. We have basketball to talk about, and I'm here always as always with my guy Don Juan. To the people's really good.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, man? Excited to have the season finally start. We finally here. I mean, this countdown has been here for a while, but got opening night tomorrow, Friday. I can't wait. We're gonna be there. It's gonna be dope. But this is Nick Fan Wild, episode 34, coming out of Off the Ball Network. Always providing y'all with the best content. Make sure y'all tune in and check out their website, man. There's always goodies in there. And I know y'all always like making money, so check out my guys out there too with the Hedge Pod, man. Always giving out money, always giving out lunch money for people out here, man. So make sure y'all follow my guys out there, man.
Yeah, for sure. And we are with the Prez of Off the Ball. Don Juan mentioned we're gonna be at that Knicks game tomorrow. It's gonna be crazy. Listen, if you haven't got your Knicks ticket, make sure to go over to SeatGeek. Big time news, big time get from Chris, who is the Off the Ball is now sponsored by SeatGeek. Get $20 discount for your first time users of SeatGeek when you use promo code Off the Ball Network. That's all together. Off the Ball Network. Big time news. So if you don't have tickets to the game, go to SeatGeek, buy your tickets, link up with Don Juan, Triple M. We're gonna be in there. We're gonna be taking shots. And shout out to my guy Chris in the building, bro. Tell the people it was really good.
Yo, it's always a pleasure to be on the show, guys. That was a great intro. And yeah, man, go to SeatGeek. That's the newest sponsor of the Off the Ball Network, man. That was dope when I got the news of that, man. That was big time, man. There's some of the best podcasts out here are brought to you by SeatGeek. So to have that partnership with them, that's real dope. So yeah, go check out use promo code Off the Ball Network, $20 off your first purchase. And tell them we sent you, man. But happy to be on the show, fellas. I got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, bro. I mean, finally we back. We haven't had you on since the draft show where we had a whole draft show and the Knicks didn't even pick nobody. And we thought we just out there wasting time, but a lot has happened in between that. So let's get this roll started. The New York Knicks lost last night. Tough loss for sure, man. It was a hard fought game. The game went to overtime. Cam Reddish hit a three in the corner, put the game to overtime. Knicks lose by three though, 112-115. And listen, a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. We're gonna get into it right now in this episode, but we have to start off with our guy that we do a lot for, RJ Barrett. 3 for 18 from the field, 11 points. Just didn't get it. 0 for 6 from 3 pointers. Just not a good look for RJ. Don Juan, what you think about RJ Barrett?
Wow, man. Talk about a guy that, we thought he was gonna come in this year and break the slow start thing that he always does for some reason. Seeing him in the summer, we seen a couple clips here and there, him working. He's telling us that, he's working on this, working on that. So I thought he was gonna show out. Not gonna lie, year 4, just got paid. Thought it was really gonna be something, man. But it's just game 1. He did look a little nervous. He looked a little out of it. Defensively, he was always caught like off balance and whatnot. But that could also be more because of the tough assignment in John Morant. I mean, that's not someone that's not a guy that size wise he's probably not going to guard most nights, and it's not the guy that speed wise definitely not going to guard. So maybe missing Grimes definitely played a part in that. Grimes would have played more, but yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. Granted, it's only game 1, but I was more like, I guess the team production kind of made up for what RJ's performance did. But it's just game 1. He's gonna get over this hump.
All right, yeah, I agree. Chris, what you think about RJ Barrett's struggles, man?
Oh man, Mr. RJ Barrett. All right, kind of up and down with RJ, especially the last 2 years, I would say. And the slow starts are kind of getting repetitive. And then I felt like this was a matchup he should have took advantage of. There's no Dylan Brooks. Like he should have really been able to do more. And he did not show out at all. I think if he had played just 5% better, we get the W. And he was just bad on both ends of the court, and that's what really bothered me. Like
Yeah.
he showed in preseason, like he was a solid defender last year, and it feels like preseason he's getting backdoored a lot. Like he's getting getting taken off the dribble a lot, and I saw that a lot yesterday. Even with Santi Aldama, like getting him off the dribble. It's like, all right, RJ, like, and just like bad mistakes, the bad shot selection, like it was just bad. And I think year four, there's no more babying with him.
Yeah.
Can't keep making excuses for RJ Barrett no more. This is year four, man. Like we could baby him, and the rookie year you could be like, all right, there's too much going on, the system, no space and all. All right, that's cool. Year two, okay, but like last year he did the same thing, slow start. Remember, there's times he wasn't even playing at the end of the game before the new year.
Yep, yep.
Right, like Tibbs don't mess around like that, and I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but like no, it's no more babying with RJ. That's it. We can't be babying. And you saw yesterday, people are like, oh well, no, and I get it is game one, and it's just one game. I get it, but it's like I'm just overall, there's no more babying RJ this year.
Yeah.
This is year four, right? He's acclimated to the system. Like we need to see something, and there's still stuff that get into the basket. He's just not good at. Everything's contested at the basket. I don't know. It's just I'm not gonna baby him no more. It's enough of that. We need to because if Julius Randle had the performance he had yesterday, oh my good, y'all know Twitter would have been like, y'all keep him in Memphis. Send him. Like he would have got crucified. Any other player on the Knicks would have got killed. But RJ is like, oh no, it's just game one.
Nah, you're right.
It's like, nah. No more. Hey, no, I don't care. RJ, this is year four, man. We need to see that next step because in order for the Knicks to take that next step and feel good about the future, RJ needs to take that step where he's a borderline all-star. Right? I'm not saying he needs to be all-star but he needs to be at least in the conversation. All right?
Yeah.
He keeps playing like this, he ain't going to be in the conversation, and they never regret giving him that max. So no more baby in RJ. That's my biggest takeaway. He played awful, and he's probably the reason why we didn't win that game. And thank God Cam Reddish. RJ, no more babying RJ. I'm over it. And most fans should be over it because it's
big words.
Over.
Big words. No more babying RJ.
I feel like I'm babying RJ.
It's like year four, like we see everyone's getting hyped. He's working on this in the off season. He's getting quicker. His hips are not as tight. Like he's not as robotic. He's smooth with his 3-point shot on the catch, off the catch. Getting to the basket's another thing. Like because he seems like he gets stifled every time because he has no twitch. We saw improvements in that, and then it seems like the same stuff we seen from the past, and it's like okay, and there's people just babying him like, oh, it's okay, he'll be fine. Like, oh, nah, man, it's year four. Get on him like the same way y'all get on Julius, same way y'all get on Fournier.
Man.
Nah, man, it's I'm over the honeymoon stage.
Chris is throwing some big punches right now for RJ.
He messed up my sleep, man. RJ messed up my sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was twisting and turning. I was just thinking of that bad 3-point. It was just bad, man. Bad.
Yeah, that was a terrible shot. Out of all his shots, that might have been the one that's like, what are you doing? That's tough as already. The situation, there's still a time on the clock, but he didn't really have to force that shot.
You see John Moran and Zion, players picked before him. I mean, they bought out game one.
Literally.
And exactly. And they're year four too.
We passed this subject already a lot of times, but the Cavs felt comfortable giving up so much for Mitchell because they know they have their all-star in Garland already. And the Knicks, they offered RJ. They offered RJ Barrett. And we love RJ and stuff like that, but this tells you, this is a telling sign. I'm not tripping like y'all said it's game one, but we cannot see these performances from RJ. And that's going to get into my next topic, just reaction to the game. Listen, the Knicks, RJ played terrible, and they had that game. They lost by 3 points. And the Knicks are not that good enough to not pick up wins like yesterday. They have to win those games. Yeah. We know we're going to beat up on the teams that are tanking. That's for sure. But the good teams, we have to steal these wins. Yes, it was on the road. Yes, it was in Memphis with the Knicks, with Memphis team that won 50 games last year. But we was in that game. We had the lead, man. And it's tough because Chris said this right earlier. He said, If RJ just plays 5% better, 10%, makes one of those threes, makes one of those jump shots, the Knicks win this game. They lost by 3 points. And it's tough because that's a game that I felt like the Knicks had to win. They should have won. And listen, if we're gonna come back from last year's debacle, we have to take these games. We have to when teams give us games, when teams are
Mm-hmm.
missing players, we have to attack and we have to get these wins. So real disappointment. There was a lot of things I liked. Hardenstein, like him. I like him. I like him.
Yeah.
Cam Reddish, of course. But let me ask you, Chris, what was your overall reaction for Game One? Don't get too much on Cam. We're gonna talk about Cam.
Game one reactions is, like I said, it is frustrating we lost because a game. If I told you they're missing two of their key players, their two best defenders, right? Triple J was a
Um,
top five defensive player of the year, like led the league in blocks per game, and Brooks is a solid defender. And then if I told you Bane, their second best player right now, would shoot I think he shot 6 of 18 or 4 of 18, and only gave you
uh,
like 14 points. Like you'd be like, okay, we should that should be a win and all that. So you like because they were down like 15, 16 points, and it could have
20,
got
I
They
think
ugly.
were down
20.
19.
Oh,
Yeah,
19.
yeah. So it could have got ugly. You like the fight and all that, and you like Cam Reddish and company did and all that. But and Hardenstein to me, and I was doing a spaces with some Grizzlies people I know. And shout out to Francis who's out as off the ball, and he also works for SB Nation covering the Grizz. And he was like, he asked me, Hardenstein and Mitchell, how do you see those minutes distribution going? And I was like, I think Mitch early on, I think Mitch is going to get predominantly the minutes, but I could see a situation where Hardenstein finishes games.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mitch gets majority, but I think Hardenstein will finish games, especially depending on the matchup. And that's exactly what he saw. And he provided really good minutes. And we saw him in preseason. He's a hell of a passer. And he just might be a better fit than Mitch right now because Mitch had foul trouble and he didn't look right and all that. But
He could
the
shoot.
good
He could shoot.
and we haven't had a backup big like that. Like we were so used to like Nerlens the Wells types, and we haven't been used to a player like Hardenstein who could stretch the floor a little bit and play
Hey,
make.
respect
So
OG Taj Gibson.
Taj, can't
yeah,
forget
yeah,
Taj.
yeah, no, but like a true center like
Nah,
that,
nah,
like
nah.
Taj is
Yeah,
more of
I feel
like
you. I feel
a
you.
power forward, But so that was good to see and all that. And Brunson struggled a little bit, but he looked like the floor general that we've been craving for.
Yeah,
I mean, usually I saw the stat like since 2009, we've had a different point guard starting opening night
crazy.
every year. So like to have that stability is good. And they fought, and then but there's still a lot of things they need to work. The perimeter defense to me was the one thing early on. It felt like every screen Memphis set, it's like the Knicks just stopped and just got swallowed up, and then there was a guy open every time. Every time Bane was open, Aldama was
Yeah,
open, Conchar was open. It was like that happened way too much. So they
yeah.
fixed it in the second half. It got better, but there were some things. I like the adjustments they made in the second half. You're not stopping Ja.
Mm.
No.
Stopping Ja. So that's fine. Ja did his thing, 36 points. They contained Bane. Bane did not have a good game. Um, Tyus Jones, they let a little, hit some big shots for them, but you know, tough. It was just a tough loss, but they,
Yeah,
they did
man.
some good things. They did some good things. Obviously, like Quick didn't perform, but Cam did. So like, if that's gonna happen, could just need consistency from guys obviously like Barrett and all need to be better and all that. Julius was Julius. I think he played well
Yeah.
and did some good things, but you know it's a tough loss. It's a tough loss. A
Yeah,
game
Desmond
you should
Bain.
win. Game you
Desmond
should win.
Bain, you said it. He shot 6 for 22 and
Yeah,
3 from 13 from three. Like that's his thing, shooting the threes. Great percentage. He went three
looks
for
too.
13.
Yeah, good looks
And,
too.
and he just gotta win these games, man. You just gotta win these games.
Yeah,
Dom,
man,
what
you
you thought
have
about
to.
game one reaction?
Yeah, I mean, look, not gonna lie, I was watching the Yankee game and the Knicks game. I had
Me
a
too. Me
two
too.
TV setup.
Yeah.
Let's
As y'all
go.
can see, we literally in baseball mode. Game tonight
Oh,
too,
we
man.
all
Game
three
two.
got the Yankees. We
You know, we
repping game
We
ready.
two.
ready. We ready. Got to
We
get this
ready.
game
But
too.
I'm not disappointed. It was a tough loss because in Nick fashion, they reel us back in after an ugly start, and of of course, in fashion, like I just said, they lose the game at the end. But I mean, I saw so much, hard grit and a little bit more disappointing because of the bench didn't show up, but the fact that the starters were able to kind of bring us back and reel us in. Where last year, we got used to just a bench mob kind of bringing us back, and then when the starters go in, that's when it falls apart. And yeah, and one of the main factors in the starters that I was real happy about is just Randall. Randall's energy was something that last season we really didn't see. And we saw in preseason, but it's preseason. Everything is fun, everything is cool. But game one, I felt like Randall literally saw baby food out there. Like, I'm gonna eat these guys. There's nobody that could guard me. Like you guys mentioned, JJ, Jaren Jackson was out, so there was really nobody that could guard him. And he really made his presence known. He killed in the paint. Fortunately, he fouled out at the end. We probably could have used him out there in overtime. But at the same time, man, I feel like he's gonna be our anchor, and I got a little prediction for later, that a little hot take. But Randall, I mean, it's gonna take him to kind of keep us in the game, keep the team like above water with him. Like I said, being our anchor, being the consistent 2010, because everybody else is still like, you just never know what to expect. I mean, we didn't expect Cam to give us 20, probably expected RJ to give us that. We probably expected more from IQ. But the fact that Randall's going to be day in and day out, he's going to be a 20-point guy, which is why I always was like, yo, why y'all trying to trade this guy? I understand he doesn't really fit. But when I could give somebody the ball to give me 20 points, Randall is really the only player that I could really truly believe could do that. Whereas opposed to, give it to Obi, he's not going to do that. Obi's gonna do something different, of course, bring some energy, but he's not a guy that you're gonna give the ball, give me 20 points. He's gonna do it in other ways, put back, alley, a nice pick and roll. But Randall's gonna, give you your little post up, little, not too much step backs, but
it took one game for Julius Randle to reel Don Juan back in the building.
But still, in saying all that, I got three things that I got from this game. We saw the team depth. The team is deep. We're still missing Grimes, IQ, and OB really didn't play. But once they get it going, the bench is really gonna be crazy. Randall looking good, and then just the heart, the fact that they were able to come back from 19 was huge for me.
That was four things, bro. Four things you were really excited about.
Oh, thanks for yeah. But I feel good. Not much to complain except the refs.
Oof. Yeah. Let's not even get into that. Hey, shout out to Julius Randle, man. 24 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. For as much as we kill him, he was really just played in flow, shooting the ball 2 of 6 from 3. That was just all his threes were good threes. They didn't fall, but 9 of 16 from the field, 2 of 6 from the 3. But let's talk about the star of the show. And shout out to Jalen Brunson, Chris. 15, 9, and 6, man. We'll take that. We'll take that. Of course.
0 turnovers.
0 turnovers. Shot a little bit off from the field, 7 from 18. But the star of the game was Mr. Cam Reddish. Man, what an enigma Cam Reddish is on this team. But he balled out yesterday. 22 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 of 6 from downtown, 9 of 15 from the field, man. Cam Reddish, it was not looking too good for him in preseason. And it took another injury from Quentin Grimes for him to play yesterday. Tibbs threw him out there. Man, did that boy shine. And you just see the talent, man. The thing with Cam has never been about talent. It's been about consistency. We can all say the same thing. But, man, yesterday he put it all together. And listen, if we can get that kind of Cam Reddish on this team, boy, Fournier, we're going to have to get some way to get out of Fournier or Rose, because Q Grimes and Cam Reddish have to play Knicks basketball. That's for sure. What you think about Mr. Cam Reddish?
Well, to start off, gotta apologize to the Cam Hive. Gotta apologize, man. I've been cutting this guy's ass for so long.
Not yet.
And
he apologized.
But let me apologize for this. I'm not saying he should be a starter. I don't think he should be getting 30-something minutes. I'm just apologizing for the narrative. Like, I just thought that the guy is done. He's gonna be that, he's gonna be that player that stars are gonna be like, damn, who was that guy that was a superstar back in high school that was killing everybody? Everybody's always gonna talk about Cam Reddish, and then he just fell off the face of the earth and played in Europe. But personally, that's what I thought, especially because of preseason. I just thought that there was too much bad habits for him to overcome, and some of those bad habits, when he puts it together, like last night, is literally superstar potential. Like, this guy was doing things that nobody on the Knicks could do right now, but also just how athletic and gifted. He's just gonna jump over people, beat people to spots that he deserves rotation minutes. This is where I'm going now. Like, he deserves some rotation minutes. Unfortunately, maybe fortunately for the Knicks, it's gonna take some minutes for Fournier. IQ is gonna take a little bump too, realistically, unless he's gonna step up decision making or whatnot. Sometimes he could be costly with some long threes, not in rhythm, and we can't have that anymore. Cam Reddish, like I said, I apologize to the Hive. I think he deserves good minutes. He should be in the rotation, and hopefully, realistically, watching him yesterday, I envisioned a lineup with him starting, and that's how much he impressed me last night. And if he could start and just keep, and like I said, I like Grimes to start too, but I want Grimes to just become himself, become his own person off the bench, and man, Cam could be
that, bro.
Cam could really be a starter, man.
It takes a lot to apologize for that, man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I was a little hard on him, man. He's a guy like 22 years old, got a future ahead of himself, and I don't really put cap on players, but I saw him, and he makes so many dumb decisions. It's like, no way we're gonna really give this guy minutes, especially knowing Tibbs. Tibbs will pull you out there just for looking at him wrong. Like, get out of there. Why are you looking at me like that? So
let's see, man. Chris, I know you got a lot to say about Mr. Cam Reddish, bro. Talk your stuff.
Juan, that's what Cam Reddish does to you. He teases you. He makes you feel good at times. And he breaks your heart.
That heat check 3-pointer he took, that broke my heart. I'm not gonna lie.
Are you in the Cam Hive?
I'm a Duke fan. So I love my Dukies. I root for them in the league. But I saw this at Duke. And I've said this a bunch of times. He was supposed to be the dude at Duke. RJ reclassified. Then it was him and RJ. And then Zion came along. That wasn't expected. And he could never adapt to being third dude. Zion took over. RJ and Zion were averaging like 22 a game. And Cam just, the inconsistencies I saw in college. But you always say, untapped potential. Crazy potential if he gets to get let loose in the league. But this is what we've seen, right? Cam could go off. But, right, that's why, we're going to see Friday how he responds. He's an ultimate tease. We've seen these type of players in the league. And before, I was getting on because of the inconsistencies are crazy. He was getting opportunities, especially in preseason, but he didn't show it. And he got an opportunity yesterday, with no Quentin Grimes and all that. And he should be the starter because, honestly, he's the best player that can go off the dribble, like way better than RJ. Like, way better. Like, so it's just the consistency. That's what is stopping him from being that dude and being a 20-point per, because that's there. Like, there was T-Mac comparisons. Like, he has that in him, but it's just a matter of consistency.
That's literally T-Mac and PG are kind of like the players that I would say.
Yeah, like, and that's what we got to see. So Friday we'll see, because he could drop 3 points and shoot 1 for 9, and then everyone's back to hating him. So I ain't gonna.
And I'm gonna take back my apology.
Then we're gonna be like, I take back the apology. Forget that. It's just what we saw yesterday was what we want to see, but I don't believe. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying in that it's gonna be consistent enough. And he should be ahead of Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes is a good player, like. But we a lot of fans overrated him. Like, you can't trade him for Mitchell for Donovan Mitchell. Like, what? Quick Grimes? Like,
I'm in that. That's me right there.
Like that's crazy. That's crazy. But Grimes shouldn't stop Reddish from like starting or whatever, getting minutes. Like, Cam Reddish is a better player than Quentin Grimes, like especially offensively and all that. So that shouldn't be stopping him. It's just he's the reason he's stopping himself. It's on him.
Literally.
He needs to get in there. He still took some bad shots yesterday. You're like, all right, that's the camera. Like it's an experience that I don't really want to fully experience with him because it's very J.R. Smithy, and we know how that goes. Like that experience, and that's what could be his career. Is he's a J.R. Smith. Like he can go off at 30, but he can go off at 6 and just do some stuff. You're just like, oh my goodness, did he just do that? Like, did he like? And it's just, I don't buy into it yet. Good game, I'm happy because if he didn't have that game, we were cooked. We lose by 20 plus.
No,
so
that 3 in the
good for
corner
him.
was huge.
That was a big game. Good for him. I'm happy for him. Room for him, obviously, but I'm not gonna buy in yet.
Okay, some big words there from Chris, who he needs to see more, and he deserves it. He deserves it because Cam Reddish has just not been consistent enough for us. But let's go a little rapid fire here. We didn't get a chance to do this yet, but let's have a little bit of season prediction. I mean, I know game 1 has been played, but it's still 81 games, all right? The Knicks are gonna go 81-1 now, so we know that we got the loss out the way, So it's 81-1 time. So let's go right into a season record prediction, man. Season record prediction. I got the Knicks actually going 42-40. 42-40. I like that record for us. I sprinkled a little bit on the 45 wins. You just have to sprinkle something. It was plus 430. So might as well, because like games like yesterday, bro. Like you win some of these games and you have 45 wins.
Man.
You have 45
That's why
wins.
it hurts. That's why it hurts so much because that's a game you could steal. Like that's a good team. That team was what? Almost won 60 games last year. Ja almost won MVP if he was healthy. Like that's a game you gotta steal. You gotta steal those.
I mean, look, quickly, Obi and RJ combined to go 5 for 27 for 13 points. That's 30% of our rotation players shooting 5 for 27. I mean, you're just not gonna win games like that.
Obi Toppin's another one that I'm like, all right, he deserves his 12 minutes because people want. Hey, I'm gonna go on a little rant. Like we need to trade Julius Randle and start Obi Toppin. All right, so you want to lose 60 games? Okay, do that then. That's what's gonna happen because Obi's not. I'm sorry, he's not a guy that people want to trade Julius Randle. Blah 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 blah. Because if he had a bad game, oh my God, you would have heard it. Because Obi wanted to play 12 minutes. Wrote of rent. Nah, Obi Toppin is good where he's on the bench, gives you energy. Play good with the second unit if he has a good point guard. But playing 30 minutes a game, man. See how good
the
we
42 points didn't convince you last year. The 20 points in preseason.
Okay, so that I people bring that up. All right, the last few games of the NBA season is like the last week of school. The teacher just lets you do whatever. They just let you do whatever. Like, it's the last week. We don't care. You graduating, you getting left back anyway. You just do whatever. Just don't kill yourself. We see this all the time. So, like, people he scored 42. Yeah, that's good. But you're playing against either out of it or they're resting their starters, all right? And that's what happened, all right? He did what he's supposed to do against inferior competition. So I don't buy that. I didn't buy it. I was like, I'm not going, he's going to be the starter because he dropped 42. We see this all the time from guys. If you just look at the stat sheets from like the end of the season from random teams, you'd be like, well, that guy didn't play a lot and dropped 40 or he dropped 30 in a game. Like we see that all the time. So I don't buy, his end of the season that he balled. Good for him. He should have. But that doesn't mean that meant nothing to me. That meant, he should be a starter over Julius Randle. We should trade.
Chris is not in the Obi high. Chris is not in the Obi high. We can see that. Give us your season record prediction while you're at it right now.
38 wins.
38 wins. 38
wins.
And 43. Whoa. So
they'll
win one game.
They'll be in that 38 to 42 win.
38, 42.
Yeah. They'll be in that range. I think we're gonna lose games like this. We're gonna lose games like this, and the East is tougher, and but I don't think that's a bad thing. I know that sounds bad, but it's going to be it's still going to be an improvement because listen, we got Brunson now. We can continue to build going forward, and listen, we don't know the next off season. They're going to be someone that's going to be disgruntled. that we may be able to, but we have to show that we're at least heading in the making progress. But if we lose 20 games, then no, obviously we'll be screwed. But if we're gonna be in that 38 to 42 win range, we're gonna be battling for a play-in spot, and that to me, that's it's not what you want to hear, and it's not what I want. But I think that's okay. At the end of the day, that's still okay. And it's still more progress. We're not going to win a championship this year, even if we had Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
But we got to make these steps. We got to show what people want us to tank. I think that's the worst thing. I don't want to go back to those days where we're losing 65 games.
Wembanyama.
Like even though Wembanyama sounds good and all that, and we know how that works, we'll have the worst record and we get the 4th pick. So
hey, Scoot Henderson. There's a lot of people.
Nah.
Chris, you a draft guru. You know this class is nice.
What happened in 2019? We had the worst record, and it's like at least get number 2 so we get Ja, and then we end up with 3 and we get RJ Barrett. So I don't want to go through that. That hurt my heart too much. It breaks my heart. That was a sad period in my life watching the Knicks team. I'm over it. At least give me something where I can be like, all right, at least we have a chance to win tonight. Not like, all right, we're gonna lose by 30 points tonight, but hey, we might get Zion. Nah,
that's how I'm over
that. You didn't even watch Knicks games. You start watching college games, thinking like, oh, what could be?
I'm watching all the. I'm like, all right, if we get 2nd pick, John, okay, RJ, we got Gar. I'm watching this. I'm like, forget about they're gonna lose by 40. Let's just get the ping pong, but we didn't get it, and so I'm over that. Once that happened, I was over the tanking and all that.
I was going to the games with Zion Williamson, Cap Space, Kevin Durant. Just like I did a tape and I would put it on my jersey, and I was going to games like that at the end of that 17-win season. That was bad. Don Juan,
never want to go through that again.
My prediction, same thing as you, man. Real honestly, 42-40.
No, también.
Yeah, before preseason, I was around 38, 39. So it's in that range, right? But I do feel like, yes, the East is better, but I don't think that, look at Zach LaVine is already out. The Bucks Middleton is out. Hornets, who knows if they're going to be back in the thick of things, honestly. Bucknight just got caught up with some. Miles Bridges, you already know that. Melo already hurt. There's going to be a lot of these things within the season. Granted, we're capable of also losing a couple players too. So, I can't take us out of that conversation. But I do think that we're just going to be somewhere between 7 and 8. And when I look at the standings, that's around 43 to 41 wins. And realistically, so that's where I see us in that tier. I don't see us any less because, you got the Pistons, but the Pistons on the come up. They're not really there yet, but they could surprise teams. I'm not going to say that they're just a terrible team. And it might be even hard for them to tank realistically. But, the Magic got a bunch of young guys that they're probably going to be in the bottom. Pacers are tanking. It's just so many other teams in the East that I really don't see us losing to.
Yeah.
And so 42, 7, 8 seed in the East is my prediction.
We'll take that.
I'll take that. I think that's if that happens, you be ecstatic as a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
And that gives you hope. That gives you hope.
So let's go. Let's give me a hot take. One hot take, quick and easy. Don Juan.
You gonna bring it to me right away since I'm already here, right?
One hot take.
Julius Randle, he's gonna be an all-star once again. That's my hot take.
Randle all-star. That's you looking good. Look, my hot take. I said RJ Barrett would be an all-star. So we looking bad on that one. We're looking bad. So you got Jules going back to the all-star game. I got RJ making his first all-star appearance. Let's see, Chris. You got one hot take for you?
Oh man, hot take. That Julius Randle one's pretty good. Because he is the best player on the team. So,
now. Stop living in the moment, fellas.
I've been saying he's still the best player on the team. He's still the best. I think RJ is like the 3rd best player. I think we'll hear trade rumors about RJ Barrett at the deadline.
Wow, RJ Barrett. That's
because,
old.
In my opinion, I don't think the Knicks are high on RJ the way fans are. I really think they because we heard questions like, are they going to give him an extension or not? And There was some, and he was in trade rumors with Mitchell. I
Yeah.
don't think they think that he has the ceiling that Knicks fans think he has.
Yeah.
His ceiling.
Wow.
I
That,
think
that
that he could. They may think he may be an 18 to 9 to 20 point player, and maybe a borderline all star. I don't think they think he's the number one dude, and I think that's the one thing. And I said this. I think I said it on your show. I think I said it on a bunch of shows. I don't think they think he's the dude. I really don't think he's the dude, and I think that's why they got Brunson. I think they're trying to figure out if he's the third option on a good team. Maybe that's his ceiling,
Yeah.
but I think we'll start hearing trade rumors with RJ around the deadline.
that's a scalding
That's a
hot
wild one,
take.
yeah.
Let's see, man. Let's see, because after yesterday's game, and even after this offseason, you mentioned it, he was in trade rumors. We kind of gave him the extension as a like F you to Danny Ainge. It was like, all right, you don't want to take our trade package? We'll sign RJ to this extension. And you see players like Tyler Hero, Jordan Poole, they all got more money than him. So the Knicks definitely are not 100% sold on RJ. So yeah,
Nope.
definitely right about that. Let's talk about a player real quick. Uh, which player do you expect a big leap from this year? Are you gonna stay on the Julius Randle train? Are you expecting Julius to
Nah,
come back?
I don't think he makes a big leap. I think the biggest leap will come from. Wow, it's a tough one, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably not gonna be someone that was already on the team. I'd say Hardenstein. I think
Thinking
yesterday he showed us, but I also think that the fact that he brings us something different that we haven't had. You know, the backups before always kind of were always like Mitch, like, you know, where this guy he's actually someone. If Mitch ain't working, bring this other guy. And clearly last night we saw that. You know, there's gonna be a lot of moments where Mitch ain't working. He's such a liability offensively, where Hardenstein can do a little bit of both defensively and offensively. And his playmaking is such a great asset
do
to
you
have
think
on the
he's
floor that I think he's gonna be great to the team. But the fact that the opportunities are gonna be there, he's gonna get more minutes. He's gonna have career highs left and right. So I think the biggest leap will be him.
do you think he's closing games like yesterday?
I think he will be closing games. Honestly, I thought he was a bit gassed too last night. Don't get me wrong, because
He
especially
was.
at
He
the end.
was. Yeah, he definitely was.
But I do think he's gonna be closing games. And if Mitch doesn't get in foul trouble, he's probably not gassed. But I really do think he's
We're spending hot fuel. We're gonna look back at this episode with a lot of hot takes. My biggest Knicks taking the lead. I'm looking bad after game one, but I gotta stick to the script. I still believe that IQ is gonna take a step where we know what we have in IQ. Because listen, IQ and Obi are contract extension eligible after this season, so the Knicks are looking around like we might not pay both these guys. So I feel like quickly is gonna separate himself this year, and he's a microwave. We know that he's been having he got off to a horrendous start last year. It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
And this year he's starting off again too. Preseason wasn't special for him. And yesterday, game one, 0 for 6 from the field, just a complete ghost, a shell of himself. But I just see a lot in quick, man. Like once he's hot, he's hot. He could literally win games for us. We saw that last year, the Miami game, a few games. End of the season, last days of schools, like Chris said, he had a couple triple doubles. But I think quickly he's gonna shine this year, and that's my biggest person to take a leap. Where we like, okay, we have something here in IQ, and Knicks are still star searching, so he might
Yep,
be in a trade package. So we don't know, but I believe in
100%.
IQ. That's my guy. What about you, Chris?
I agree. I went with him before the season, so like I said, I'll stick with him. I think he's. I think the one thing that we've seen with preseason, I think the addition of Brunson, and then obviously I have a Derrick Rose. So I think there's a part of quickly that probably feels slighted in a way by New York because he kind of feels like he should have ascended into maybe that top spot. So I think he probably feels just feeling himself right now,
Yeah,
just a little disappointed. So and that's natural from players, right? When you feel like you're ready to take that leap, and being a guy. So I think he's probably just in his head right now, but I think he's gonna bounce back because he's a confident player. Like
Sure.
even as a rookie, we saw that like he's not afraid to let it loose, and that's what I love about Quick. And I think as we see Derrick Rose kind of descend as a player, because it seems like it's about that time.
I
Like,
saw that yesterday. I'm like,
hey,
whoa.
I think we might have to go back in the woodshed and be like, D Rose, look at the flowers, and you
Yeah.
might have to put an end to it because it looks like it's coming to the end for D Rose, which is sad, but that's Quick, But I think Quick is just dealing with a little bit like, all right, damn, they went
That's a
after
great
Brunson,
point.
like they
Yeah.
went after Brunson, like that should have been my spot. So I think he just
And
biting
he
his
was
tongue a
in
little
trade
bit.
rumors too. He was in trade rumors
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and there's a contract stuff and all that, and but I think he'll bounce back because he's just a confident player, and I trust him going forward. So he was my breakout guy on this roster, and I'm gonna stick with that. I still think he's going to be good, and just needs to get out of this. He's probably just in his head a little bit right now with
Yeah.
all that, but I think he'll bounce back because he's a confident player, and once he sees the ball go in the basket, he'll be all right.
Yeah. That's a great point. He definitely needs to see that basket go in there and just get in himself. Start feeling himself, man. Quick, get right because we need you. So let's take a quick look at the next 5 games before we get up out of here. Had a lot of nice fire takes. 5 games, man. The next 5 games for the New York Knicks: at home against Detroit, at home against Orlando, at home against the Charlotte Hornets. Then they go on the road to face Milwaukee and Cleveland. Oof. These next 5 games for the Knicks are huge, man. Are huge because it's important to get off on a good step. And we talked about winning games. We see Milwaukee. They already announced Middleton is out for the next couple weeks. So that's a game they'll be playing without Middleton. Can New York go into Milwaukee and steal one? I think they won last year. They did win last year in Milwaukee. So the next 5 games, Don Juan, let me get a quick prediction on the next 5 games.
Next 5, I say 4-1.
Oof.
4-1.
Huge.
4-1.
After yesterday's performances, you feeling good, bro?
Well, we should win Detroit, we should win Orlando and Charlotte.
Yeah.
So that's 3 already. And if we play like we did, at least in the second half of that Memphis game, like against Milwaukee, that should be a win.
All right, huge.
That should be a win, man. I'm not gonna back down now. Cleveland is the one that's a little tough, but now Cleveland, like
They
I
lost
mentioned, the
yesterday.
injuries yesterday. Darius Garland just got hurt.
He's hurt.
I'm not sure. They haven't said if that's gonna be a long-term thing. Mind you, I got Middleton and Garland in my fantasy team.
Oh.
What a start!
Feel bad for you.
But it could be 5-0. But let's not get crazy.
Okay.
Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy.
Bro, calm down.
Let's not get crazy.
Just
down.
do it. Just
What's
say
the
it.
alcohol content?
Do it.
5-0.
Say 5-0.
No. 4-1.
He don't want to get
Coward.
too crazy.
This beer ain't that strong.
Howard, 4 if I say 5-0.
Chris, what you think?
I'm gonna say all right. So we're just doing the first 5. We're doing the next 5.
The next 5, yeah, past the Memphis game.
Okay, so 6 games. The record after 6 games. I think they get these next 2. 2 out of 3. I give they win 2 out of 3. One of the Milwaukee. So what is that? So 6. I think they'll be 500. I think they'll be 500.
500.
3-3.
500. 3-3. Yeah.
So 3-2 in the next 5 games.
3-2.
Yeah, 3-2. They'll win 2 out of these 3 at the Garden, and they'll win one of those games on the road,
Cleveland.
Milwaukee or Cleveland. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going for it. I'm gonna be the one that says the Knicks go 5-0 in the next game. I'm not scared of Cleveland and Milwaukee. We going to win that game. No Middleton. We're gonna take care of business. Listen,
let's get it.
I just gave y'all the stats earlier. 30% of the rotation played like ass, dog shit, and we still lost by 3 against Memphis. Granted, they were missing players, but this team, Memphis, is a well-oiled machine. They went undefeated without John Morant last year. Jaren Jackson has been in and out that line, so this team is used to it. And let me tell you something, that rookie he's nice.
Aldama?
Yeah, he was.
He's in third year. Yeah, third
He
year
was
guy.
fly.
Yeah, he's second year guy. Yeah, he's good. I remember someone put me on him last year. Like I had,
I,
he was kind
I
of under
thought
the
he was a
radar, but
rookie. He's a second year
nah,
guy.
second year guy. Yeah. He was the last pick in the first round last year.
All
I
right,
think.
nice,
Oh
nice.
wow.
But yeah, that man. I mean, did they even miss Jaron Jackson? I mean, the guy was letting it fly from deep. I mean, I feel like that's why Obi didn't play a lot because he
Yeah,
was
because always getting off the dribble.
Conchor was just letting it fly, man. And it's like you can't lose this guy. He's hitting threes all day. Why is he open?
And Contra had 11 rebounds. He's 6'4".
That was just terrible.
4. Like we didn't box out. Like we didn't do the little things too in that game. The
But
little
listen,
things that
we
get
going
wins.
5-0. We gonna start this season. Look, last year they started off 5-1 too. So we're gonna do the same thing this year. Go start off 5-1, man. And I'm going for it. I'm gonna be the
There you
guy
go.
who goes 5-0. I did
Okay.
it. No one didn't want to do it. I did it. So let's
Somebody
get
clip
it.
it. Somebody
Let's
clip it.
let's
Clip
take
it.
let's take care of Detroit at home. Let's take care of Orlando at home. Let's take care of these teams don't want to win. They don't want to win. So we want to win. Let's take these wins. If they're giving them out for free, we'll take it, man. We'll take it. And just Cleveland, we'll see what we do at Cleveland, man. Yo, shout out to Zebo who's in the building. Zebo, come over here, say what's up to the people, man. He's been in the background.
He on production
He
today.
on production.
Hey, y'all got a producer? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Feel me? We out here.
Hey.
6-man.
5-0. His prediction,
Yo,
5-0.
5-0. Yo, and
5-0.
real quick, we're going 45 and 37.
Ooh,
I
45
just said
and
that.
37.
45 wins.
He got money on that 430. I already know. He got money on
Yes,
that.
30?
Plus 430.
That's
Knicks
good,
win
man.
45.
I think the over-under is on the Knicks this season was like 30 and a half.
Yeah, 39 and a half.
39 and a half.
Most books had them like around that range. So yeah, I mean that's good money right there. But yeah,
We'll still 5 wins. We'll still 5 wins somewhere. We'll still
yeah. But they could win every game. I wouldn't be shocked.
81-1. 81-1.
They could win
Somebody said
in
that.
this next 5 games. They could win every game because
Yes, they can.
Detroit is a young team. Orlando's a young, even though Orlando, they in like 3 years, Orlando going to be a problem because Paulo's special. That
You just got to keep building around them, you know.
Got to build building. Yeah. So they got some good people. Charlotte is they bust Spurs, but the Spurs are in tank mode, so that's not shocking that happens.
Yeah, for real.
The Spurs are in full tank mode. Like it is the
They're
most
not even-
obvious thing in the world.
Yeah,
Like it is, they
that's
are
crazy.
tanking like a mother. But
That's crazy. That's crazy. They wild.
but yeah, it's bad. Like it's like, yo, come on, y'all obvious. Like y'all making it hot. Y'all making
they
it too
trying to
hot.
promote Keldon Johnson. They're like, yeah, we
Yeah,
got this guy.
like, yo, you got like Vassell going to drop 22. It's like, nah, y'all tanking. Just shut
Yeah,
up.
I saw that
You
on
know what
IG.
y'all
But
doing.
Sal was like, yo, stop talking about Wembanyama to me, man. We gonna ball out. I'm like, bro, you don't need to believe that yourself.
Nah,
I
you
didn't
don't
even
need
think he
to
could
believe
ball
that.
out if he wanted to. That team is
They
terrible.
gonna trade Jakob Poeltl. He gonna be somewhere else. Like they tanking, man. They taking.
That's crazy. That's like the only piece that they can sell. You look at other teams like Indiana, who they're clearly tanking, but they'll sell on Miles Turner. They'll sell on Buddy Hield. Even Utah, they still got Clarkson, Conley. There's somebody.
Not Utah. Utah's actually the team that we probably all thought was tanking, and they looked pretty good yesterday. They beat the Nuggets by, double digits. I'm not sure how much they won.
NBA, man, you know
They go up by
Vegas.
like 20 yesterday.
That's
crazy.
Vegas right there, because everybody
Yeah.
their mother had Nuggets money line at least.
Yeah, man.
How do
That's
you-
easy money.
That
That's
is
easy money,
crazy.
and man. They get destroyed. Come on now, Vegas. See, Vegas, man. They know stuff. You be like, why is that line like that? And it's like,
Yeah.
they know. Hey, man, you can't tell me.
Why
shit
you think
that-
the lights are so bright in Vegas, baby?
Exactly,
This
man.
is nice. You gotta keep the lights on. You gotta keep the lights on.
And then the NBA wonders why fans are like, yo, that's kind of weird. Like they're officiating and on players and stuff. Like, come on now, we ain't stupid.
Nah, that's crazy, bro. Nobody could have stopped Joker. He went 12 for 17 from the field. Why they give that man the ball, man? But let's get up out of here, man. What a great fun show. Definitely a lot of moments that we enjoyed out here. As always, Chris, bro, thank you for coming on.
Yes, sir.
You always a great guest, and we gotta keep pushing forward. Off the ball is growing network. We just gotta keep pushing forward together. And thank you for going out of here, bro. Plug in whatever you gotta plug in, and just thank you for coming on the show.
No, I thank y'all for having me on. It's always a pleasure chopping up, talking Knicks. Hopefully we have a better game. RJ has a better game because he's messing up my sleep. But yeah, man, go follow me Off the Ball Pod. That's where I'm most active. on all on Twitter. Follow the Off the Ball Network, OTB_network on Twitter. Follow the YouTube channel, Off the Ball Network. Go to offtheballnetwork.com. Dope articles and all that, some dope writers, and check out all the the sponsors and all the other great podcasts we got. So appreciate y'all for having me, and we keep growing, we keep making this thing work, and we sooner or later we'll have our own studio. So
Yeah,
Yes,
for
sir.
sure. We don't
we
have to go
chilling.
through
So
technical difficulty.
yeah. We
Yeah.
play some more. Yeah.
Yo, don't home, man. What you gotta say before we get up out of here?
It's your boy Dog Horn in the building signing out. To those listening to the show, watching, make sure to follow and subscribe to the channel. Giveaways coming soon. We always give the viewers always something nice. We haven't even spoken about the next giveaway, but we definitely gonna be doing something nice soon, man. Last one was RJ jersey, and that one was successful. But yeah, man, just make sure to follow us on every social media as Knicks fans wild, and man, we out here, man, bringing y'all the energy that y'all need, because as Knicks fans, just gotta stick together and show love, man. Even though we might disagree here and there, I might like Julius, you might like RJ, you might like Ken. Yo, we all a big family out here, man. So I appreciate y'all for listening and watching.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I was at the Knicks fan TV yesterday, and it's just like Knicks fans, like we can argue all day and stuff like that, but we're in an environment and a setting like we really, shout out to CP at Knicks fan TV. He really had a lot of people there, man. I'm talking about the place was packed. Right there at the 40/40 Club. That was pretty impressive, man. Shout out to the Knicks TV family and shout out to the Knicks community, period. As we get up out of here, as Don Juan said, man, make sure to give this a like and a subscription to the page. And I got the Knicks going 5-0, man. I feel pretty good about this season. And we're going to see later this week if they're going to make me look foolish, man. Shout out to y'all for watching. And thank y'all for tuning into Knicks Fans Wild. And we out here. Peace.